What is up? What is up? Hopefully, everyone is having a great start to the week. It's Monday, and we are coming back with episode 4 of this Road to 1 Million series. Um, we let some things ride during the weekend, so we're going to talk about kind of what happened during the weekend and kind of catch you guys up. The last update was Friday morning, so from like Friday afternoon until last night, we've had some new results, and I'm excited to share those with you guys. First, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's been watching this series so far. We're 1 week deep into this. It's been a good. It was a good week. I don't know, just getting the hang of kind of recording consistently, just getting these updates out to you guys, trying to share value. So always happy to hear your guys' feedback, and I appreciate all the support. But we're gonna get into this. It's almost Christmas, and we're looking for that winning product. So I'm gonna kind of share with you guys how the weekend went. We're gonna talk about some plans for the rest of the week and how we might be able to make something happen. Getting a drink of water real quick. Always stay hydrated. But all right, first we're going to talk about the makeup store. So just to catch you guys up, we were testing a product on our store. I call it the makeup store because we're kind of just testing more like makeup products on that store. And I decided to kill the product we were running. We ran the product for about a week, maybe even a little bit longer. It was looking decent, but we just couldn't get it to scale. We couldn't crack the metrics that we needed, so I ended up killing it during the weekend. And today we are testing a fresh product. So we're going to kind of talk about what happened with that product, maybe why we couldn't make it a winner, and we'll just kind of talk about what the plan is for this store moving forward. So I put this on like the last 30 days, so just so we can see all the metrics overall. But as you can see, like we had one main ad stack here that spent about $463. And I know you guys might be saying, wow, like I spent a total of $650 on a test. But like I told you guys, I like to take these tests a little bit slower. I like to test everything that I can before I kill the product. I like to make sure I'm testing new ads, new offers, that I'm reading my data correctly, and making good decisions based on that. So I try not to be the drop shipper that kills a product after like a day or two of not having it be profitable and be a winner. I like to try and give it my best shot. I did the research on the product prior to testing it. I made my thesis, I guess, if you want to call it, about why I think the product can be a winner. And I like to stick to that. That's why it's good to always do your research and go into each test with confidence. So, anyways, yeah, so we had this ad stack which had the best metrics, I guess, out of all the campaigns. And overall on this one, we had 49 add to carts, 34 checkouts, 19 purchases for $24. But unfortunately, the ROAS was just super low, only about a 1.2 ROAS. We were testing ads pretty frequently here. You can see we had like 3, 4 days of test ads. Yesterday, I kind of gave it one last shot. Tried to get some ads pumping, but unfortunately, with this one, what it seemed like was the CPMS were just a little too high. As you can see, like we had pretty decent CTR overall. CPCs were a bit high because of those CPMs, but we had pretty decent CTR. We had some add to carts flowing in. It was just that we weren't getting enough traffic to be able to be profitable. Essentially, like we had 400 clicks overall, and we had 61 add to carts. So that's an add to cart every like 7 or 8 clicks, which like honestly is not bad. Like if you're getting an add to cart every 7 or 8 clicks, that's pretty healthy if you have like a dollar or below CPCs. But with this one, as you can see, like we had some decent CTR overall, but we could just never break below like $1 or even 150 CPCs just because of how high these CPMs are. And so really the thing here was just that we weren't able to get traffic for a cheap enough price to be able to kind of facilitate profitable sales. And sometimes that's just part of the game. One thing I've noticed is that with different products, you're going to get different CPMs. With this one, could it have been a little more saturated? Could it have been a little more competitive? That could have been the case. It's also getting pretty close to Christmas, so could the CPMs be a little bit higher right now? Possibly. And I normally only test in the US, so it can happen. And that's just kind of how this one went. So we did what we could do. What can you do when you have those high CPMs? Well, there's really only two things you can do in that situation, and we tried both ways, but we just couldn't get anything rolling. And I'm going to kind of explain what the thought process is, or what my thought process is when I'm getting those high CPMs, just so maybe you can take some inspiration from it. I'll kind of break down like what my thought process is. So basically, when you're getting high CPMs, there's really only two things you can do, or at least in my opinion, there's only two things you can do. Well, maybe three things, but two and three kind of kind of go together. So the first thing is testing more creatives. And I say testing more creatives not for the fact of like getting, a higher CTR, because like even if you are getting a higher CTR, that's good, but at the same time, if you're getting 150, $200 CPMs, it's not really going to matter what CTR you're pulling out, if you're just not getting the help from Meta. But the reason being why I like to test more creatives and test them a little bit more rapidly is because sometimes if Meta sees you, testing lots of batches of creatives, if they see you testing new creatives consistently, they'll sometimes help you out a bit with these CPMS and drop them a bit for you. So you just never really know. I've had products in the past where I'll start out with like $150 CPMS. I think my last winner actually started out this way. I started out with like $150 CPMs, just kept testing new creatives, kept testing new creatives. And after about 25, 30 creatives, the CPMs dropped to like $30. And so you just never really know. I think it's just Meta, doing their thing with the algorithm, deciding whether or not your creatives are worthy of their like, higher quality traffic. And in this case, it just seemed like no matter what creatives I tested, Meta just wasn't throwing me a bone here. And so, like I said, sometimes it goes that way. The other thing that I could have done is maybe optimize my average order value a little bit more. So the thing is, like, when you're getting these metrics, the only way to balance it out would be by your average order value or your conversion rate. But I mainly say average order value because you're only going to be getting so many purchases with CPMs that high. And so maybe if I like of these 22 purchases, if I had found a way, because I had a $30 cost per purchase. So let's say maybe I find a way to make my order value around like $60, $70. Well, then my ROAS looks a lot healthier. But unfortunately, with this one, the product was just a little bit lower ticket. Obviously, it's a makeup product, so kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place there. To be able to like start a fresh makeup brand and get a like a $60, $70 AOV right away would have been a little bit tough. Since I was only selling for like $25, $30. Of course, we have like a one ROAS on a $30 cost per purchase. So my average order value is closer to $30. And really like that's kind of normal, I think, for most makeup products, most smaller cosmetic products, like a 30, like even $40 is really good average order value there. But again, like we just had these massively high CPMs, almost 150, $200, and we just couldn't pull it out. But the thing is, if you have these CPMs, it's not like, how do I explain this? You don't want to think too much about them. Like, of course, we can look back and say, okay, that's probably the reason. But when you're in this type of situation, really what you want to focus on and what I always focus on is just what can I do to control this situation. And like I said, the things that I could do was keep testing new creatives to see if Meta would maybe throw me a bone, give me some lower CPMs, because it does happen. And really, that's I've seen to be the most effective way to drop those CPMs is just keep spending and keep testing new creatives, especially if you can be profitable on these CPMs, keep spending, and eventually you'll kind of make it out of those those meta trenches. But and then the other thing, of course, that I like to focus on is kind of my conversion rate and average order value. So if like, let's say these 400 clicks, maybe I could have converted 10% of those people into customers, um, and had 40 purchases, things would have been looking a lot better. So I could have maybe optimized my offer a little bit better and, to increase my conversion rate, or maybe I could have optimized my average order value a little bit more as well. And so really those are the most important things when you have those high CPMs is just trying to convert as many customers as possible and also, get them to purchase as many items from your store or as much value as possible as well. So those are a couple things that I, maybe in hindsight could have been a little bit better at is just getting that average order value a little bit higher, maybe converting a little bit better. Maybe I could have split tested some more attractive offers, maybe a buy one get one free because I really only tested like a free gift offer, but I didn't test a buy one get one free. So that could have been something that I could have used to maybe convert a little bit better, maybe increase my average order value a bit more. But I decided that after a week, $650 and only a one ROAS, after COGS, I probably lost 150, $200. So I just decided that it was time to cut this product and move on to the next one. And sometimes, that's how it goes. Not every test can be perfect. And that's all right. We learned a few things here. We learned what we're going to do next time when we get these high CPMs, how we're going to deal with them. We're going to, do what we can on our side to be testing new creatives, to be testing higher value offers, more attractive offers, so that we can kind of get around this until Meta decides that they want to throw us a bit of a bone and drop our CPMs a little bit. But that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. So, like I said, I decided to kill this one yesterday after testing a few more creatives that didn't really go my way, and now we're gonna just go ahead and be testing a new product. So, with that being said, we're gonna delete these campaigns. One, two, three, four, five, six, and again, like you guys can see, I have 6 campaigns here. And one thing I really want to stress is that when I'm testing, 25, 30 creatives per test is pretty standard for me. Like, I guess like you want to be having some sales come in if you're going to be doing that, but I really like to be trying to push the needle forward with new creatives, every day or every other day, even when I'm testing. Try and take some inspiration or try and take, all the data that I've gathered and just keep working and ironing out that video structure until it's something that's really consistent and really scalable. So just throwing that out there, if you are testing, if you are kind of struggling to find a winner or push things forward, you may just need to test a higher volume of creatives. That's something that I learned from a mentorship that I took. I took Samir Mithwani's course, and I don't want to expose too many things because I know that's like that's his course, and I don't want to be sharing his info. But that is one thing that he does a little differently that I learned from him is just to be progressively testing new creatives almost every day in testing, in the testing phase to really be pushing things forward. So figured I'd throw that out there and maybe you guys can kind of take some inspiration from that and test some more creatives when you're in the testing phase. But we're going to delete those campaigns now. 31 ads in the trash, and we are on to the next product now. So this new one is also a makeup product. And again, we have some like super high CPM. So I'm not sure if this is just something that's kind of more standard in the makeup niche. It might be. But I guess it probably is. Like makeup is probably one of the more competitive niches. But we're just getting started with this one. We have about $20 spent so far. CPM's still a bit high, but CTR looking good. So we're just gonna give this some time. I don't like to rush things when I'm testing. We're just gonna give it the day. We're just looking for a sale or two. We'll probably test some new creatives throughout the week, see how that performs. Again, we're not in any sort of rush to try and kill the product or move on from it. We always just like to take the data that we get from each test, each batch of creatives, and just kind of use that for the next one until we exhaust all of our possibilities. So we'll be testing new creatives, new offers throughout the week. I'll keep you guys updated on that one. But again, like nothing crazy yet. We've spent $20. We have insanely high CPMS, 9 clicks, and like a decently high CTR. So that's good. We'll just have to wait it out, give it a little time. It's also a Monday, so nothing too crazy happening there. But now we'll move on to the next product here. So this one I'm excited to share with you guys. So we've got a few good things happening here. With the product that we replaced the T on. So if you watched my video on Friday, I was telling you guys that I killed my pregnancy tea, and so that product was actually profitable. But just to recap, had to kill it because ads were getting rejected like crazy, and we replaced it with a skincare product. And actually, this one has been performing pretty well lately, and I think it's definitely got some potential for scale. So I just want to show you guys how the weekend went. So let's go back to Friday. So this was day one of the product. We've been running this for 1, 2, 3. So today is day four of the product. Let's go back to Friday. We had one campaign here on Friday. Spent about $70, and we made 2 or 3 sales. So we had a 1.3 ROAS on day one. But we had some of that buying intention. We had a few sales, and we had some CPCs looking pretty decent actually, around $1. So, and CPMs are looking a little bit healthier on this one. So we always love to see that. So let's see. So let's go into day two now. So day two, I think, let's see, Saturday. Okay, so I on Saturday, what I did was I was trying to test another angle here. So you can see this angle two has $11 of spend, but it didn't get a single click. So honestly, I was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna waste my time with this. This angle doesn't seem to have any potential. And did I kill it maybe a little bit prematurely? Possibly, but at the same time, I was seeing a lot more potential with this first angle. And just to recap, like what I mean by angle is different markets, like different audiences, different problems, stuff like that. There was like a certain problem that I'm talking about in this batch of creatives, and there's a certain problem or like angle slash market slash what you can do with the product in this batch of creatives, which just didn't perform at all. We spent almost $12 and got 0 clicks. So I turned that one off pretty quickly. And sometimes that's just what happens. You're going to test 3 angles, or, you're going to test a few angles to see what has the most potential. And in this case, I just think that the first angle I tested was the one that has the potential. So after that, I kind of just decided, okay, I'm going to stick with this first angle and keep riding that one out and just see if I can maybe optimize it, see if it's consistent, stuff like that. So again, on day two here, we can see that $30. I don't know, it didn't spend the full $50 this day. It spent $30, but is what it is. CPCs were pretty consistent. We had a few sales. We had 2 sales. $15 CPA. ROAS was almost 3 on this campaign. So that was looking good. And that was Saturday. So we had an overall 2 ROAS this day after we wasted a few dollars on this campaign. And then December 15th, well, yesterday, so Sunday, again, we had a pretty good performance here. So we have CPMs keep going down, which is a really good sign. We tested a new batch of creatives, but again, after like $14 in spend, we only had 3 clicks. And maybe I'm killing these a little prematurely. That's why the batches I'm running today, I'm letting them run a little bit longer, just because it does seem like these CPMs are like double or triple what my main batch of creatives is. So, could I possibly give a little bit more time for these to run? Yes, and I think I'm going to do that moving forward, which we'll talk about, but we'll just run through the metrics really quick here. So, we spent $100 or $95 on ads yesterday. We had 25 add to carts, 12 checkouts, and 7 sales. And I did bump the budget yesterday to 100, so it spent like 80 out of that $100 because it was looking good, looking promising, and things are starting to really shape out, especially for this angle here. We had 7 sales for 3 ROAS yesterday, so it's looking really good. And so let's kind of talk about what the plan is for this product because I think this could be the one. But again, I don't like to speak too soon. I think a lot of people would see this and right away be like, this is it. I'm scaling it to the moon. But for me, I'm just going to take it a little bit slower. Just going to make sure all my ducks are in a row. I don't want to call anything too fast here because you just never know what can happen. Sometimes things will just flop out of nowhere. Sometimes you'll get hit with a crazy like ad account ban or rejection or something. Sometimes something else crazy will happen. So it's looking good, but let's not jump the gun at all here. Let's just keep our heads on straight and see exactly what we can do here. So one thing I do want to talk about. So let's go to today so far. Actually, today I'm going a little bit more aggressive with the ads here today. So we've got 2 batches of test campaigns. We've got our main campaign at a $100 budget today, and actually this one has had 3 sales already today, so that's looking pretty good. 2.36 ROAS on this one. We've wasted a little bit of money on our test campaign so far, but that's all right. We'll talk about it. But so far, things are holding up really well for this campaign. And I'm happy to see that there's consistent buying intention. So I definitely think there's potential here. Let's talk a little bit about what's gonna kind of how this week is gonna look with this one because I think it has a lot of potential. And again, just to recap, we tested 5 creatives on day one with a specific angle, and that's the angle that has seemed to be having the most potential. So again, that's like a specific type of problem or a specific use case for the product with a certain market, right? So again, for the T, it was women with PCOS that couldn't get pregnant. With this, it's women with certain like X skincare problem that want to fix it. So excuse me. So if you hear me talk about angles or markets a lot, that's kind of what I mean. But yeah, so we've been running this campaign, which has been looking good, and we're testing a few new campaigns today. CPMs on the new campaigns again are looking a bit higher, but I'm giving these a bit more time to run. I think I'm going to give them a day, maybe 2 days to see if those CPMs drop. Uh, as you see, we have some similar CTR with these ads compared to the main campaign. So really what I just need to happen is for these CPMs to drop a little bit. So I think we're going to give those a day or two, just see if they come out with a sale. We've got a little bit of buying intention on this batch right here. So as long as it can maybe bring in a couple sales, convert, then we'll give it some time to spend. But let's talk about it. So let's talk about the plans with this product. So one thing I really want to stress here is that yes, things are looking good with this one. However, like I said, I don't want to jump the gun here. And so there is one thing that I noticed that could potentially be a problem. And so what I mean by that is inside of this campaign there is only one ad that is spending, right? So yes, it's great that ad is performing well. That's really good. However, when you're going to scale, if you're going to scale, my preference at least, based on my experiences in the past, um, with scaling and kind of what's necessary to scale, what I've noticed at least is that it's best if you can get like a solid structure or a solid foundation in terms of like your videos and how they're structured. And it's ideal if you can kind of find a structure or find like a few creatives that you test and they are like winning creatives, right? Because you want to make sure you can have a consistent structure or a consistent like pipeline of new creatives that are becoming winners. And so far out of these three batches of creatives that I've tested here for the angle that I'm running, I have not found another winning ad yet. And like I said, that could just be my fault for killing these ads prematurely based on their CPCs when, I'm seeing that the CTR is pretty similar. I'm just seeing that the CPMs are a little bit too high. So that could be my fault. Comparing those a bit too much with this campaign that's already dropped down to like under $50 CPMs. But I do want to find a structure of video that I can consistently be pumping out and have like new winners coming on almost every day, every other day, just pretty consistently, right? Because ideally, I would like to have 3 to 5 winning creatives inside of a campaign before I start scaling it. Is that a little bit overkill? Maybe. And could I, keep scaling this one creative? I probably could. But do I feel extremely comfortable doing that? Not really, right? So if I'm going to be scaling, I would like to have, start with like 3 creatives maybe in here that are all performing well and be able to, keep consistently pumping out winning creatives. Um, so that is kind of the biggest, not problem, but the biggest priority right now for this product is just continuing to, try and extract data, try and figure out, what's really the winning structure here, what are people really resonating with. And we're going to be just consistently pumping out 5, 10 creatives a day for now and just like continuing to test. I do have an employee on the back end who's going to help me with this. He's going to be like editing some videos for me. We're going to try and pump out some fresh creatives. We're going to try and take all the data that we've gotten so far and use it to keep making new creatives that are better and better. And we'll probably keep scaling this campaign at the same time as long as it keeps performing well. But I'm just throwing that out there. You want to make sure you have a consistent structure there to be able to scale with. And just based on my experiences in the past, if you only have one ad to scale on, it's not going to last very long. Which I think I talked about in one of the previous videos. I think with the T, I was telling you guys again, like I had one creative. It ended up getting rejected anyways, so it didn't matter. I had one creative that was performing well, but I couldn't get any other ones like approved. So how consistent can scaling on one creative really be? And so that's why I say that's one of my main priorities when I'm about to scale a product is making sure that I find a video structure and inside of this angle that's really going to continue resonating, continue performing well, and continue bringing in profitable sales. So over the next few days, we're going to be testing 1 or 2 batches of ads per day. Is that going to eat into the profits a little bit? Yes, but at the same time, that is what I feel is going to be necessary to scale. And so if we can just find like some videos like or a structure that's going to consistently perform, that would be ideal. And I'd feel a lot more comfortable scaling this up if we can get some new videos starting to pump as well. So, like I said, yeah, that's going to be the main priority for this product. Continue testing new batches of creatives, really dial in a winning video structure so that we can consistently be pumping out new winning creatives. And, that's really going to be what facilitates this scale on the front end. And yeah, and then like I think I have a pretty solid offer right now. I mean, we're getting consistent buying intention. It's a buy two get one free deal, which is something I've seen a lot of people selling lately. I've seen a lot of either free gifts or buy two get one free. So I decided to kind of throw that in the mix and just try it out for this product, and it's working out pretty well. So we're gonna let this excuse me, voice crack, sheesh. We're gonna let this keep riding throughout the day. We're gonna burn up a little bit of money on these test campaigns, but it's okay. It's for the greater good. And scared money don't make money here. So we got to keep testing these new creatives, find a winning structure, and roll with it. The only other thing that I'm a little bit concerned about is quality, which I know like my first video was all about making sure a product has good quality before scaling it. However, this is another situation where I may have not done like perfect due diligence before starting to run this product, because this is another one that's really not anywhere on Amazon, unfortunately. So I can't give like a great gauge, but based on the ingredients, like it's a more simple product than the hair removal cream that I talked about in my first video. It's a little bit more simple, so I don't think there should be as many issues, but I'm probably going to be ordering samples for that extremely soon, especially if I start to scale this, just to kind of get an idea about the quality and just kind of uh, be a little more prepared with this one. Like on the hair removal cream, I had scaled that to like 100K before I even held the product in my hand. So if I start scaling this one, I want to try and get the product in my hands right away, start talking to my suppliers, if there's problems with the product, and just handle those issues a little bit more quickly than they were trying to be handled on the last product. So that's the two things right now. Making sure we get a consistent video structure that's going to be pumping winners consistently, and also just being a little more on top of the back end quality on this one, just to make sure that if we scale it and when orders start being delivered to customers, they're not like roasting me and writing bad comments, reporting me, stuff like that. Because what most people don't realize is that that bad quality actually translate a lot into your ad account health. Or at least I've noticed, like, okay, you're going to have refunds, you're going to have chargebacks. You can still scale with refunds and chargebacks. But the main killer is going to be people reporting you to Meta, saying you're a scam, people like writing those negative comments, and you just not being able to do anything about it. And then either, your CPMs go up or your account gets banned because of all the negative feedback. So we want to try and avoid that at all costs this time around if we do end up scaling this. So again, we're kind of just thinking a little bit ahead here. Probably don't have to worry about it right away. But at the same time, we want to be prepared. We want to make sure we have our ducks in a row as we start scaling this. If we start scaling this, again, we're not getting ahead of ourselves, but we're just going to keep putting in the inputs that are going to be necessary to scale this if it does happen. I'm confident on this one. I'm bullish on it. We're just going to keep doing what we can do. We're going to put in the inputs, and hopefully Mr. Zuck will will notice us and give us throw us a little bone here. But yeah, this one's looking good. Again, overall, let's just see overall how we're doing. We've spent $280 and we've got about a 2 ROAS overall. So not bad. We are profitable on this one, and we're going to keep riding it out this week and see if we can find that video structure that's going to allow us to scale. Okay, we're at 33 minutes right now, so I'm gonna probably cut this one here. But if you guys have any more questions, or if you guys like have some feedback, have some questions about this, I know I talk a bit fast. I could probably explain things a bit better because I kind of just showed you guys metrics. But I'd like to throw in a video per week, maybe on the weekend or something, where I go a little bit more in depth on one of the things that I talk about in these videos, whether it's like video structures, product research, stuff like that. So if you've watched this far in the video, first, thank you very much. And second, if there's anything that you want me to talk about more specifically, I will try and dedicate a video to it each week, whether it's product research, video structures, angles, markets, stuff like that. Just drop it in the comments and let me know, and I will get straight to work on that. But yeah, anyways, I appreciate you guys watching this video. I hope everyone is having a great start to the week, and yeah, I think this should be a good week. Let's just keep pushing and see what happens. But all right, guys, I will talk to you all on Wednesday. All right, peace.